Today, we're diving into a force so powerful it's been called the eighth wonder of the world, and yet it works with one beautiful, simple ingredient. We're talking about compound interest.
And this quote, it just nails it. Compound interest isn't some boring formula in a textbook, it's a real financial superpower. And as we're about to see, it's fueled by one thing you can't buy more of: time.
So, to really get this, really get it, we need a story. Let's follow two different savers, Susan and Bill. Their journeys show this power in a way that numbers alone just can't.
Okay, so first up we have Susan. She's the early bird. She saves diligently for just 1 decade, from 25 to 35, and then, get this, she stops. Cold. Doesn't add another penny. Then there's Bill. He starts later, but he's a marathoner, investing that same amount for 30 straight years. Now, you'd think Bill's consistency has to put him way, way ahead, right?
But hold on, before we jump to the ending, we've got to understand what's happening under the hood. What's the engine driving all of this? Well, people often call it the snowball effect.
The idea itself is so simple. You earn interest on your investment, of course. But with compounding, you then start earning interest on that interest. It's literally interest on your interest. And that simple feedback loop creates this incredible accelerating growth over time.
Okay, I know. I see a formula and my eyes can start to glaze over too. But stick with me here. All these letters matter, but the real superstar in this whole equation is T, time. See how it's up there as an exponent? That means it doesn't just add to the growth, it multiplies it. It's an accelerator. The more time you have, the more explosive the result gets.
And here's where you really see that magic in action. Look at Susan's investment. Remember, she hasn't added a dime since she was 35. But watch what happens. In the first 10 years of just sitting there, it roughly doubles. Not bad. But in the last 10 years, whoa, it doubles again, adding over $230,000. That is the snowball picking up some serious speed as it rolls downhill.
So that snowball sounds like it's just going to get bigger and bigger, totally unstoppable, right? Well, not so fast. It's not guaranteed. There are these hidden forces that can slow it down, kind of silently melting away your returns.
The investing legend Charlie Munger said it best. The number one rule is you just don't interrupt it if you don't have to. And you know one of the biggest, most common interruptions? It's something a lot of us overlook: high fees.
Think of it this way. Fees are like a constant, tiny drag on your snowball. They're just a small percentage, but they chip away at your investment base every single year. And that means your compounding engine has less fuel to burn right from the get-go. And that tiny drag, it adds up to a huge impact over decades.
And here's the sneaky part about fees. They often come from more than one place. You might have the fund's own fee, but then maybe you have an advisor fee layered right on top of that. They can stack up, creating a much bigger drag on your money than you might even realize.
And the differences can make over the long haul? It's not small. It is absolutely massive. Just look at this example from Pew. Same exact investment, same returns. The only difference is a 1% higher fee. Over 40 years, that tiny little percentage creates a huge gap in how much money they have at the end.
Just take a second and let that number sink in. $80,000. A single percentage point difference cost this person a huge chunk of their retirement. It was completely eaten away by a tiny fee that was silently working against them, year after year after year. Okay, so now for the main event. We've seen the engine, we've seen the brakes. Let's get back to Susan and Bill and see how this all played out.
Just as a quick reminder of the stakes here, Bill put in 3 times more of his own money, $150,000, compared to Susan's $50,000.
So, with triple the investment and 3 decades of consistent saving, Bill has to be the winner. It's just obvious, right?
And here it is. The result that honestly just blows my mind every single time I see it. Susan, who invested a third of the money, comes out on top. She finishes with over $60,000 more than Bill. How? How is that even possible? It was that 10-year head start. That decade was the most valuable asset she had. The power of time literally beat a much, much larger pile of cash.
And that story, it tells us everything we need to know about what it really takes to build wealth. It proves that your most valuable asset isn't how much money you start with or how smart you are at picking stocks.
It all comes down to this. Time is your superpower. Those early years, when your money has decades and decades to just sit there and work for you, are by far the most powerful. The number of years you're invested can actually matter more than the number of dollars you invest.
So what can you do right now? First off, just start. Seriously, even if it feels small, Susan showed us that starting early is what counts. Then make it automatic so you don't have to think about it. And of course, always keep an eye on those fees that can quietly undermine everything.
Look, at the end of the day, you can't control what the market's going to do tomorrow. You can't control interest rates. But you have 100% control over one crucial thing: when you start. So the real question is, what are you going to do with your single most powerful asset?